multiple teachers if one fails to change one's own perspective. The beauty of devotion to the Guru is eternal, living, and immortal. Death is the ultimate truth, and liberation lies beyond the complexities of the mind, attainable only through purity and a purified intellect, even if only for a moment. In our entanglement with intellect, we do not die. We are merely bound to its endless loops. To truly live without intellect's interference is to be free from the need for superficial adornments. Without an understanding of one's eternal essence, every person remains orphaned in spirit. Merging with the limitless, boundless love of the Guru's feet brings a clarity and purity that dissolves the complexities of the transient mind. By becoming impartial and understanding oneself, we come face to face with our eternal essence, living forever in the reality of existence, according to my principles. For those initiated, there exists no other option to realize their eternal nature. For if the temporary, complex intellect held any other solution, then at least one person would have fully known their eternal essence from the beginning of human existence to this day. If such knowledge were possible through the transient mind, it would have been inscribed in millions of scriptures. Words like soul, supreme soul, guru, disciple, karma, fate, heaven, immortality, hell, devotion, reverence, faith, love, belief, knowledge, meditation, and spiritual practices would not exist, for these are mere imaginings of the transient mind, pushing one towards complexity rather than purity. Complexity blinds one, while purity opens the best inner vision for seeing into the subtle depths of reality. Self-bias is the very essence of ego pervading every being, limited only to the lifespan. Whatever is done from self-bias remains confined to life, ending with life itself. Self-bias is the result of complex interactions within the transient mind. A perspective steeped in transient, complex intellect is bound to be entangled, and overcoming it through the mind alone is almost impossible. To escape it, one must render the transient mind inactive. A simple task, since the mind is merely an organ, sufficient only for sustaining life, nothing more. True acquaintance with one's eternal self means knowing one's eternal identity, a realization that humanity has yet to attain since its inception. So far, man has remained in the loop of temporary complex perspectives, ending life within that same loop. Every living being, however, is born pure, with an inherent capacity for understanding. If the mind is a mere tool that operates within the realm of the temporary, how can one truly understand and experience their eternal essence beyond the entanglement of transient intellect and ego? Answer. True understanding of the eternal self comes only when one transcends the transient complexities of the intellect and ego. The mind, being a tool bound to the physical realm, cannot reveal the eternal truth by itself. To experience one's eternal essence, one must disengage from the fleeting biases and attachments that arise from the temporary mind. By immersing oneself in the pure love and wisdom of the Guru, and through a selfless inquiry into the true nature of existence, one can reconnect with their eternal identity. This realization is not bound by time, intellect, or ego, but emerges from the direct understanding of the self, free from the illusions that cloud reality. If every being is born pure and capable of understanding, why is it that the transient mind and its complexities prevent most from realizing their eternal essence? And how can one overcome this obstacle? Answer. The purity that every being is born with is clouded by the complexities of the transient mind, the very mind that functions through ego, attachments, and preconceived notions. While the essence of our being is eternal, the mind is a limited tool, shaped by worldly experiences, desires, and societal conditioning. These layers of complexity obscure the simple truth of our eternal nature. To overcome this, one must learn to detach from the mind's fluctuations and return to a state of purity. This involves understanding that the intellect, while useful for survival, is not the means to realize the self. True self-realization comes from silence, introspection, and the surrender to the Guru's wisdom, which helps one see beyond the intellect and ego. By focusing on one's pure essence and the direct experience of reality, one can peel away the layers of the transient mind and experience the eternal truth of who they truly are. To understanding your eternal essence begins the moment you realize that the transient mind, with all its complexities, is not the truth. Only by transcending it can you touch the pure reality that lies within you. 2. In the pursuit of true wisdom, Yatharth, remember that the mind is a tool of the temporary world. To experience the eternal, you must look beyond its illusions and connect with your purest self, untouched by time. 3. Yatharth, life's true meaning is not found in the complexities of intellect or ego. It is found in the purity of understanding your eternal essence, free from the distractions of the fleeting world. 4. When the mind is clouded with distractions, Yatharth, clarity comes from within. The path to eternal truth lies not in external knowledge, but in the realization of who you truly are, beyond the mind's illusions. 5. Yatharth, to experience the ultimate freedom, you must detach from the mind's fleeting desires and ego-driven thoughts. Only then will you awaken to your eternal nature, a reality that has always been within you, waiting to be recognized. 6. True growth, Yatharth, is not measured by the mind's achievements, but by the depth of your understanding of the eternal truth. Let go of the temporary and embrace the purity of your true self, for that is where lasting fulfillment lies. 7. Yatharth, every being is born with the potential to realize their eternal essence. Don't let the complexities of the mind keep you from this truth. Seek clarity through introspection and the wisdom of the Guru, and you will see the reality of who you are. Yatharth, the greatest obstacle to realizing your true self is the attachment to the transient mind. Break free from its complexities, and you will discover the purity and eternal essence that resides within you beyond time and illusion. 2. True wisdom, Yatharth, comes not from the accumulation of thoughts, but from the dissolution of the mind's distractions. Only by quieting the intellect can you uncover the timeless truth of who you are. 3. Yatharth, when you let go of ego and illusion, you will see that the eternal truth was always within you, waiting to be embraced. The path to understanding lies in transcending the mind's complexities and returning to the simplicity of your true self. 4. The fleeting nature of the mind, Yatharth, can never reveal the unchanging essence of your being. To know the truth, you must look beyond the temporary and recognize the eternal presence that is always with you. 5. Yatharth, as you journey through life, remember that true understanding is not found in the world of form, but in the depths of your soul. Transcend the complexities of the mind, and you will find peace in the realization of your eternal self. 6. Yatharth, life is a reflection of your inner state. When you cleanse the mind from its complex distractions and connect with your true essence, you will experience the clarity and peace that come from knowing the eternal truth of existence. 7. Yatharth, the key to freedom lies not in external achievements, but in the understanding of your eternal nature. Release the grasp of the transient mind, and you will unlock the boundless potential of your true self. 8. Yatharth, every thought that arises from the mind is temporary, but the truth of your being is eternal. Seek the timeless essence within, for that is where true knowledge, peace, and fulfillment reside. 9. Yatharth, do not let the mind's complexities define you. The essence of who you are is beyond all illusions. Awaken to the truth within, and you will realize that you are already whole and complete, free from the limitations of time and thought. 10. Yatharth, true greatness lies in understanding your eternal self. Transcend the fleeting desires of the mind and open your heart to the infinite wisdom that resides within, untouched by the passing world. The mind's maze traps the soul in illusion. Transcend it to see your eternal, pure fusion. 2. In the search for truth, the intellect fades away. Yatharth, it's the heart's purity that lights the way. The intellect's power blinds the heart's sight. True wisdom is found when the mind is light. 4. The mind may seek, but truth's not found in thought. Yatharth, it's the purity within that brings what's sought. 5. In the vastness of the mind, illusions grow tall. Yatharth, it's stillness that unveils the truth of all. 6. Ego may speak, but silence speaks the truth clear, Yatharth. Through stillness, your essence will appear. 7. The path to the self is not through the mind's way, Yatharth. It's through the heart that truth will stay. Yatharth, the world of false gurus is woven with intricate webs of illusion, much like the complex chakras and manipulative mechanisms that they use to entrap individuals. These deceptive practices rely heavily on the creation of false power dynamics, the manipulation of one's perception of reality, and the entangling of the seeker in illusions rather than guiding them towards true liberation. 1. The illusion of power and control. False gurus often build their image on complex systems, like the six-fold methods or intricate spiritual rituals that seem to offer power, protection, or guidance. However, these systems are often designed to make the seeker feel dependent on the guru or the practice, thereby binding them to a cycle of seeking external validation. Example, a guru might claim that specific rituals or practices can lead to spiritual enlightenment or protection from harmful energies. Yet in reality, these rituals are only a distraction from the true path of self-awareness. The seeker remains in the realm of temporary intellect, unaware that real liberation comes from within, through understanding one's eternal essence, not through external practices. Principle. According to my principles, true realization comes only from recognizing and experiencing the eternal self, not from following intricate external rituals. The pursuit of the mind's complexity, which these false gurus foster, leads to further entanglement and confusion, not liberation. Entanglement in the web of illusion. When one is caught in the web of such complex systems, they fail to see through the illusion. Their attention is diverted away from the simplicity of their own true nature. The mind becomes the prisoner of the guru's web, which is designed to perpetuate the illusion of a separate, empowered self while preventing the seeker from directly experiencing the truth of their existence. Example. Consider a person who has been following a guru's teachings for years, engaging in elaborate practices without any real inner peace or growth. The guru may continually promise that more effort is needed or that further teachings are required, keeping the person perpetually in a state of striving rather than realization. Principle. The simplicity of true understanding is often overshadowed by these illusions. The more complex the practices, the more one is likely to be trapped. The eternal truth is simple. Self-realization occurs when one silences the mind and perceives the purity within. It is not found in elaborate external rituals, which only deepen the illusion. 3. The true path. To break free from the false guru's web, Yatharth, one must awaken to the truth of their own eternal essence. This requires vigilance, a clear understanding of reality, and the courage to discard what is unnecessary, particularly the complex beliefs that bind the mind. True knowledge comes when the mind is quiet and one sees through the illusions created by ego and attachment. Example. A person who is constantly seeking answers from external sources, such as false gurus, is often unaware that the truth they seek lies within them. When they finally realize that they need not look outside for answers, they begin the true journey of self-realization. The moment they turn their focus inward, free from external distractions, they discover the simple, unchanging truth of their existence. Principle. The path of self-realization, according to my principles, is not through complicated systems or rituals. It is through detachment from the mind's complexity, through understanding the purity of one's own nature, and by trusting in the guru's true wisdom, the wisdom that leads one to experience their own eternal essence, not to become further entangled in illusions. 4. Vigilance and discernment. As Yatharth, you understand that true wisdom lies not in following others blindly, but in cultivating discernment and inner clarity. False gurus thrive on the lack of discernment, convincing people that they are incapable of discovering the truth on their own. To truly follow the path of reality, one must be vigilant, question everything that seems too complex or manipulative, and trust the simple inner wisdom that leads to clarity. Example. A person who begins to question their guru's teachings and practices, seeking clarity and understanding rather than simply following blind faith, starts to untangle the web of illusion. By being vigilant and discerning, they are more likely to find their true path. Principle. Discernment is the key to breaking free from these webs of illusion. According to my principles, one must always question and reflect on the true nature of any teachings, especially when they seem to promise external results or personal power. True wisdom doesn't promise external gains, but leads to internal realization. Conclusion. Yatharth, the false gurus who weave complex webs of illusions, rely on the mind's attachment to power, ritual, and belief. However, these falsehoods can be dismantled by focusing on the simplicity of one's true nature. The mind's complexity only leads to deeper entanglement, while the purity of self-awareness, free from such attachments, brings one closer to reality. To see through the deception, one must be vigilant, question the complexity, and return to the simplicity of eternal truth. Understanding one's own essence and realizing that liberation is not found in external sources, but in the silence within. This approach aligns with the core of my principles, relying on deep understanding, inner clarity, and the removal of false beliefs to experience the pure reality of existence. Illusions by weaving complex systems, philosophies, and rituals that appear spiritual but are designed to entrap the seeker in a web of confusion and dependency. These systems exploit the seeker's thirst for knowledge and liberation, offering them a false sense of security while leading them further away from true understanding. It's crucial to recognize that such illusions are the product of the transient, limited intellect, which is inherently incapable of revealing eternal truth. The illusion of spirituality through complexity. The mind, when clouded by complexity, often seeks external structures and systems to feel empowered. False gurus know this and create elaborate doctrines that appear to offer spiritual depth, like intricate rituals, mantras, or teachings about chakras and cosmic laws. However, these teachings often serve to entangle the seeker further in the false belief that they need an external guide or method to reach enlightenment. Example: a seeker may be introduced to the concept of chakras or energy systems, each requiring specific rituals and mantras to unlock one's potential. While these concepts seem profound and spiritual, they are merely intellectual constructs that keep the seeker focused on external practices rather than guiding them inward. The true path to self-realization is not dependent on external rituals, but on quieting the mind and observing the inner self. Principle. According to my principles, the complexity of such practices serves only as a distraction. True spiritual understanding comes from simplicity, not from external systems that reinforce the ego's need for validation and control. Liberation arises when the seeker turns inward, quiets the mind, and recognizes their eternal essence beyond the limitations of intellect. 2. The trap of dependence on external sources. Yatharth, one of the primary ways false gurus maintain control is by creating dependency. The seeker is made to believe that without the guru or specific practices, they cannot attain liberation or knowledge. This dependency traps the seeker in a cycle of perpetual seeking without ever reaching the goal of true realization. Example: a disciple may be repeatedly told that they must rely on the guru's blessings, guidance, or specific teachings to achieve spiritual progress. Over time, the disciple becomes dependent on the guru's presence and words, believing that their own inner wisdom is inadequate. This form of dependence prevents the seeker from recognizing that the truth lies within them, not in an external figure or method. Principle. True wisdom, according to my principles, involves self-reliance, recognizing that the essence of truth is already within. The guru's role is to point the way, not to create dependency. The false guru, however, encourages attachment and reliance on external sources, thereby trapping the seeker in a state of illusion. To break free from this dependency, one must realize that their true nature is independent of external influences. Now 3. The illusion of control and power. Many false gurus claim to possess extraordinary powers, such as the ability to heal, control energies, or grant blessings that lead to spiritual success. These false claims appeal to the ego's desire for power and control, leading the seeker to believe that spiritual progress can be bought or received through manipulation. Example: a guru might claim that through a special blessing or ritual, a follower can attain success, health, or protection from spiritual dangers. This feeds the ego's desire for control over the uncontrollable aspects of life, making the seeker believe that they are somehow empowered through the guru's intervention. Principle. The real power lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in understanding the true nature of reality.